Today on Inside Discovery, we'll follow along as one of the Science Center's male Gibbon gibbons, Duke, gets a checkup at the animal hospital. We'll also spend some time with some of the Science Center guests on the aerial ropes course Sky Wild and talk with one of the course guides. Our first stop, however, is in the Wiseman Aquarium, where one of the coral tank exhibits is being maintained and redesigned. It's remodeling day for these lucky coral and their friends.
My name is Rachel Rogers, and I am a coral aquarist at the Greensboro Science Center in the Wiseman Aquarium. Well, we wanted to change out the backdrop of our exhibit. So before, we had lined the outside of the tank with a thin black sheet of plastic called Kydex. But inside the tank, that was creating a lot of reflections, and it was really difficult to clean those other windows. We had to move all of the corals and the rocks in order to get those sheets in exactly where we needed them. So we set up large holding tanks right behind the coral exhibit, and then we filled them with heated water and made sure that we had plenty of flow so that the corals would be happy sitting in a tank long term that wasn't their home. So we're trying to put a new lining in the back of the exhibit. Because it'll make cleaning much more efficient, but it'll also look better to the public eye. So most people don't really understand what corals are. Each coral polyp is its own individual animal. Inside of that polyp is a type of algae called zooxanthellae, and that algae uses photosynthesis to provide energy to that polyp, and that polyp provides that algae a place to live. So it's a symbiotic relationship. Most people think that corals are plants. Well, that's not true. They're animals with algae inside of them. A bunch of polyps will make a single coral colony, and a bunch of coral colonies will make up your reef. Overall, they're just such fascinating creatures because they're so fragile and delicate, but at the same time, they're so resilient and they're truly beautiful. And in the ocean, they make up less than 1% of the ocean floor, but provide for 25% of all ocean life. So they are incredibly important to our planet.
I'm Sam Young, the veterinarian here at the Greensboro Science Center. Today we're going to take a look at Duke, our 6-year-old male gibbon. Today he's getting a couple of blood samples taken and a few vaccines.
Javan gibbons are native to Java, Indonesia, and they're estimated about 2,500 left in the wild. That number could be a little bit different now. I heard that about 4 years ago. And there are some good programs out there that are doing some releasing of gibbons back into the wild just to help with that genetic population.
Nothing. We're just due for a checkup. One of our gibbons. Don't give yourself a pity.
Go ahead and they're designed to keep the straps flush against the harness so they're not flapping about. Go ahead and find out, make sure you're standing straight, because they do feel weak.
It's a challenge ropes course, so we have 7 different elements here, 7 different courses. So they have to start on a beginner course. So everyone that comes up, has to start on a beginner. Then we can kind of gauge from there what their ability level is, what they're comfortable with, and then they can progress and go to an advanced. We do have people that go up to an advanced and try those, but most people stay on the intermediates and kind of work towards it. So it's awesome, it's fun. So just watching people accomplish their fears and just kind of grow and and build on that. And we also have a lot of people that'll come back. They'll come the first time and try an intermediate, and that's the most that's the hardest thing they can do. They're the most comfortable with that, and then they'll come back again a second time, and they'll try something a little bit harder, and then we can kind of watch that progression and watch that growth from there. So.
So a lot of these are connected to the rocks that they're sitting on. That's the other problem. Plate coral.
Is this the only one of them?
Nope. Okay. This exhibit gets quite a bit of maintenance. Corals are very high maintenance animals to keep. They have to have the right kind of water, the right kind of lights, the right kind of temperature, the right kind of flow, the proper water chemistry. So it's a lot that goes into keeping corals. This one crab is obsessed with this colony. I've removed him and he's crawled back so many times. So he will go right in this area. A major breakdown like this, we try not to do too often because corals are very fragile. The more I handle them, the more likely they are to break. But at the same time, the more care and work you do on corals, the better they seem to flourish. So it's, it's a balancing act.
You never want, is there a straight line in the ocean? That's why we're going to need a, we will need a clamp.
So last year I applied for the conservation and research grant that the Science Center provides to its employees. And I was awarded some money to attend the coral restoration workshop at Mote Marine Laboratory in Summerlin Key, Florida. And it was really cool because I got to meet Dr. David Vaughn, who is one of my personal idols, and he invented this coral microfragmentation technique. Microfragmentation is a process where you take a coral fragment and you cut it into as small pieces as can survive on a little fragment plate. And when you grow that out, you can cut those into small pieces also. So you can really multiply your coral fragments like on a logarithmic scale. And using those fragments, you can restore corals on the reefs. And I really do believe that that's going to change the face of coral restoration as we know it. It's not just about making fragments and placing them back in the water. You can really grow these at an exponential rate. And that will, I think, really change the tide of the fight on restoring these reefs.
Next we're going to get a blood sample. We'll check a CBC in chemistry. So we need to check him for hepatitis B. We're doing some exams on him today and testing. Part of that is a hepatitis B test. We're going to take another look at his CBC and chemistry values. We'll do a full physical exam, get some dental pictures, and just make sure he's healthy. So yeah, this is the humerus that was broken several years back, but we check up on it every year just to see, make sure it's coming together well. There's 3 plates on there. He's got a reputation for being a bit of a show-off, so he likes to please the crowd. Probably some of that's from his upbringing since he had to be hand-reared. He is very attached to people, so he hams it up sometimes, and he just lost his grip when he was messing around a bit too much and had a spill. Hasn't had any issues since, so he must have learned his lesson on that one. Now he's going to be sleepy. Now he's going to be sleepy. Based on everything we saw today, he looks fantastic. We'll take a look at those lab results, which will take a couple of days to get back. But otherwise, I think he looks fantastic.
There you go, perfect. And then just kind of, what I do is step onto it, and then I'll just go down to one knee from there. There you go. And step all the way on. Nice, good job. So we've had, when the Greensboro Coliseum will have different events, we've had gymnastic competitions, we've had people from California come, and they just see it, you know, they're in the area and they say, hey, that looks like fun, let's go do that. So we had some folks from the UK come over, and they were competing in the competition. We've had gymnastics, you know, competitions here, and the gymnasts will come out and they fly through it. It's pretty easy for them, yeah. The first time I did the course, I did all 7, and I was just exhausted. The next day I was like, oh my gosh. So the first time I'd ever done it, and you build a little bit more muscle once you do it more often, but still, it's still tiring. So
Rite of passage for you guys that are working.
yeah,
like,
so that it's called the second interview, and you come out and you just have to do the course. Yep, so it's fun, yeah.